Today, we're going to take a closer look at what just happened in Venezuela. Some say it's just all about the oil. Some say it's all about the narco-terrorism. Kevin and I think it goes much deeper than that.
There's a lot of revealing going to come out of this.
I think there's a strong reason why he's bringing him back here. It has taken them 5 years to gather evidence. They have whistleblowers now, people to testify. And they've just been hoping, praying, and waiting for the time when Maduro could be brought to justice. And folks, I think it's now. They've been waiting for the moment when the truth about many things, including election fraud in 72 countries around the world, including America, could be exposed for all to see.
It is coming out. The more we learn, the more we realize, I think we might be over the mark.
Welcome, everyone, to the Patriot Project on Mugwump Media. Kevin, I just have to say, 2026 is already turning out to be an exciting year so far, to say the least.
It's exciting. I don't know that it's a roller coaster. I don't think it's going up and down. I think we're heading in a pretty solid direction, and that direction would be exposure. We're learning more and more, and the more we learn, the more we realize, I think we might be over the mark. You know what? God's people are beginning to step up, and we're beginning to realize we got to be involved, and it is more important now than ever. Each day that goes by, we need to get involved a little more and a little more. And the Great Commission, that's why we're here. We've got a role to do. We're not supposed to hole up and wait for Jesus to come back. We're not supposed to follow the world to hell. We're supposed to be following Christ, and we're supposed to be leading the world to Him.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us today. Always good to have some time to hang out with you all. Now, today, we're going to take a closer look at what just happened in Venezuela. I've been keeping notes. And you know, some say that it's all about the oil. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing people just railing about it. Some are really happy. Some are really angry. This is not what I voted for. I understand, because there's been a lot of presidents in the past that have gotten us into crazy stuff. I think there's something much deeper and much bigger behind what just happened with Venezuela. I really do.
Time for a big picture view. We've got to look at everything as a whole. This is spiritual and it's cultural, just like Brett said. You know, I love when a young man goes ahead and speaks truth that we all need to be. We need to start relaying that message. This is spiritual and this is cultural.
I know. Like I said, some say it's just all about the oil. Some say it's all about the narco-terrorism, you know. And that's what everybody's focusing on. But Trump has been signaling. I've been keeping notes. Like I said, I usually, whenever I zero in on something that starts happening. This started happening in late November. These little things that he was telegraphing to everybody. And I started taking notes of all of it and keeping it tucked away until now. It's all come really full circle with what's happened with Maduro. And keep in mind, folks, he could have done what Obama did and just vaporize him. He could have killed him, Kevin. What would anybody have done? I don't know. It's Trump. They might have took him out and tried to execute him. Who knows?
This is the first time that there's still living.
I know.
Living. Well, you know what? There's going to be words come out. There's going to be speaking.
Well,
it's not.
There's a reason.
Like you said, vaporize, because there's going to be there's a lot of revealing going to come out of this.
I think there's a strong reason why he's bringing him back here.
Yep.
There are witnesses. We'll get to that here very shortly. Kevin and I think it goes much deeper than that, for sure. Now, on December 6th, if you're new to the program and have not seen it, on December 6th, we released a podcast entitled, it's a long one, You Are Never Going to Look at the 2020 or the 2024 Elections the Same Again. Okay?
That is a long title.
It is. In that podcast, we discussed information that came out on multiple interviews. Laura Logan, Adam Carolla talked about it. There were some other independent podcasters that talked about it, but you didn't hear anything about it on mainstream media. And folks, I think the reason for that, I think people are scared to death. Remember, Kevin, when Fox and Newsmax got sued over the voting machines? And of course, anytime anybody starts talking about Venezuela's interference in the election, it always goes back to the voting machines. I think they're scared to death. They ended up paying a bunch of money, taking a big hit. And so I don't think that the news, and of course the liberal news isn't going to talk about it, and poor One American News, they ended up getting completely demonetized and deplatformed over, I mean, they reported it all. I can remember after 2020, they had the trials in the states and everything.
There's been a lot of casualties over this.
Oh, yeah, but they were completely demonetized and kicked off of platforms. So I think that the news is petrified because I think they're afraid to say anything about it. But Laura Logan, she has a podcast called Going Rogue. Now, before anybody says, oh, well, she must be a conspiracy theorist. No, she's not. She's a very credible journalist. She was a war reporter, a war journalist. She was a member of CBS News. She was, I believe, one of their 60 Minutes reporters. She was well thought of long ago. She's been around a while. She eventually got sick of them all and started her own independent podcast. And I like her. She speaks the truth. Now, I actually covered her interview, and Trump actually, I think he reposted her on Truth Social, or he at least posted a link. I can't remember what it was, but he actually mentioned her because of some of the stuff she was covering. But she interviewed in this podcast two brave gentlemen, an author named Ralph Pizzulo. My gosh.
Don't ask me to spell that,
if you guys go back to it, autocorrect ruined me. I ended up saying his name 2 or 3 different ways in the podcast. But anyway, his name was Ralph Pizzulo, and he is an author with like 30 books. Now, he partnered up with a former CIA operations officer named Gary Bernstein, a very tough and he's quite a guy. If you go back and watch Laura Logan's podcast with him, he's amazing. But he was one of them that actually led this little coalition. After 2020, they knew something had happened. He was a CIA guy. He probably had inside information and knew something had happened. It has taken them 5 years to gather evidence. There are other patriots. They're not all identified. One of them is Patrick Byrne from Overstock.com. Now, where did they get the money to go to different countries and gather all these interviews and whistleblowers? They have whistleblowers now, people to testify. Isn't that interesting, Kevin?
Got the
people
snowball effect going on.
Well, again, who's in prison right now? But actually people who worked, engineers who worked for the Maduro regime in Smartmatic in Caracas in Venezuela, and actually developed this technology that can hack voting machines. But these people, and there are several of them that they have interviewed, they've got them, they've basically turned their back on Venezuela. They've said that they will be glad to come and testify if there's a trial, which there's going to be a trial. And but they have had to protect these guys for the last probably several years. And they've just been hoping, praying, and waiting for the time when Maduro could be brought to justice. And folks, I think it's now. They've been waiting for the moment when the truth about many things, including election fraud in 72 countries around the world, including America, could be exposed for all to see.
It's not looking good.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I think it is looking good.
It is coming out.
Somebody said it was, Mike Lindell said that whenever this happened in 2020, do you know what the people in Venezuela, some of them he knew some patriots, they were happy that it happened to us, not because they wished it on us, but they said, we've been praying for this, Mike.
Yep.
We've been praying that America would be hit by the same thing so that they would wake up and do something about this to help everybody in the world.
Once again, everything hinges on the church.
Yeah, just like in World War II. It took a hit on Pearl Harbor to bring us into it and for things to actually happen. So we'll see. Now, for a few months now, like I said, Trump has been dropping hints. He's been telegraphing, like he always does, on different platforms. Now, for the last few months, you've heard President Trump mentioning that the 2020 election was rigged and that there are truckloads of evidence that are going to be coming out soon. He even went a step further, Kevin, in an article that appeared in LT Politics, and I think that's the Los Angeles Times, actually, on November 24th, entitled "Trump Resurfaces Claims That the Venezuelan Regime Played a Role in Rigging the 2020 Election." And this was just like right around Thanksgiving, November 24th, not long ago. They also brought up Maria Corina Machado in the same article. I'm telling you, Kevin, the table was being set then for what has happened next. Yes. Once we entered December, something shifted. Around December 17th, Joe Hoft, and if you guys don't know who he is, he's pretty cool. He's an award-winning journalist. He's a serious guy, too. He's the editor of the Gateway Pundit. Now, that is one of the news apps that I have on my phone device. I have several. I like to check different sources. I love the Epoch Times because they're not necessarily, he's conservative. He is obviously conservative. But I will tell you this, Epoch Times tends to be, they're going to tell you stuff you like and you don't like. They're going to tell you everything straight, which he does too. But again, you can tell he's conservative because he brings the talking points that we all need to know. And of course, the Gateway Pundit is an online news source They posted this on joehoft.com. Breaking huge. President Trump is considering mandating paper ballots and ending electronic voting machines.
Yes.
Telegraph number 2. On December 22nd, the Gateway Pundit put this up. National Defense Authorization Act. Did you guys know about that? Apparently it was passed and signed. Go figure, Kevin. It contains hidden election integrity gem, could have huge implications for voting machines. Now, on December 18th, the National Defense Authorization Act was signed by President Donald Trump. Hidden deep within the 3,000 plus pages of this bill was something most of you folks might not have heard about. Section 6805 requires penetration testing, Kevin, as part of the testing and certification of voting systems. This amendment requires penetration testing for the certification testing, decertification, and recertification of these machines by an accredited laboratory. Now, what a lot of people don't know, there have been people on trial. There were trials galore going on in Georgia. A lot of stuff came out in Georgia after the elections. Now, even though the trials didn't go the Patriots' way or Trump's way, they had people, as a matter of fact, Trump, I'll talk about that in a minute, Trump has actually posted stuff from experts, forensic experts that have testified that these machines can be penetrated. Penetrated, meaning that they can hook them up to the computers and they can be manipulated by out-of-the-country sources. So, I mean, it's not just the Patriots that are saying it. It's people who are computer geeks that are brought up and they ask them the right or the wrong question and they answer it. Now, red states, I am going to put you on notice. You think you're safe. Missouri citizens, you think you're safe. Let me tell you, and I'm not going to go into this a whole lot just for time's sake, but there was something, Act for Missouri, love you guys. Hope you have had, Amy and Michael, hope you had a great new year. It was great to meet you last month. They brought this up. They actually put it on their Facebook. It was from the People's Lobby, Missouri. This was an expose since 2005, Missouri's Secretary of State. Folks, we have these voting machines. Now, we don't fill them out on the machines, but we write it on paper ballots and we put it in the machines. Folks, that's not safe either. No. Those machines need to go. And if you want to either
First
email...
time I stuffed a ballot into that thing,
don't let them anywhere near.
How do I know what's going to go?
Those machines need
this?
Gone, period.
Yep.
And there's been some weird stuff going on the last couple of elections. But 27 certification letters since 2005, every voting system in the state has been, these systems have been okayed, basically, okay, they're good to go, certified, simply from observations from a Missouri Automated Voting Equipment Qualification Committee. Did you know about that committee, Kevin?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. No, I had not heard of that.
Do you know
before.
why, Kevin?
Well, Go ahead and tell us.
Apparently, it doesn't exist.
Oh.
The reason that we know that, this group, this watchdog group, apparently sent out a Missouri Sunshine Law request. If you're not from Missouri, or if you are from Missouri and don't know about it, basically you can ask for the proof that something is legit. Guess what they found out, Kevin, from the Missouri Sunshine Law request? It said that there's no such committee that ever existed. No record of formation, no members, no meetings, no agendas, or anything.
Sounds like something might have been conjured up in Minnesota here.
The certification of these voting systems, apparently nobody's watching the hen house, Kevin. Or maybe they are watching the hen house, but it's not the right critters or people. Yep. Anyway, I'm not going to go over this. That's the justification for all the certification letters, 27 of them since 2005. I'm telling you, voter integrity everywhere, blue state and red state. Red state folks, start paying attention to some of the online political groups. Go to Act for Missouri is just one of them. Shield Maidens is good. There's other groups. Liberty PAC in Missouri, wonderful. Pay attention. Yes. And, again, Denny Hoskins is our Secretary of State. He's a good man. And I think that he's going to try to help us on this voter integrity stuff. We need rid of those machines. But give him a call or an email. Tell him to get rid of them. We don't even need them. Now, I'm going to get off of that subject. The good news is...
Well, go ahead.
The good news is, with this bill that Trump just signed, they're going to have to do something about it. If they do keep them, they're going to have to really certify them, and that means a penetration test.
Yep.
Now, on December 26th, this was a repost on X of a Truth Social post from Trump. This was a video of one of these experts, a forensic expert testifying under oath, multiple states, that the election systems in Gwinnett County, Georgia, Colorado, Michigan, and other swing states were remotely accessed from Belgrade, Serbia, by Serbian nationals during the November 3rd, 2020 elections. Now, if you folks go back to that video, I think it was December 6th it came out, that was one of the things we talked about. In 2024, apparently somebody that was brought about by this group actually went in and made a hit on those Serbian computers and destroyed them right before the election. This is what's been reported. Now, obviously, folks, the climate for discovery is right. It's the voting machines, but it's not just the voting machines. People are starting to notice, Kevin, that there's something fishy in Denmark.
Well, not just Denmark, everywhere else. Well, you know what? I'm thinking they're probably going to regret letting Trump have a third term.
Third term.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure that this is the third time he got elected, and he didn't get to occupy the office, but sounds like he made really good use of his time, along with a lot of other folks.
Well, what you just said, Kevin, that plays right into the next thing. This talks about not just Gwinnett County, Georgia, Colorado, and Michigan. It talks about Arizona. And folks, all he lost by in that second term was 2 states. I'm telling you, I think stuff's going to come out. December 21st, in an post from Kevin Roberts from Heritage Foundation, the Arizona Senate audit of election confirms that 11,326 voters, oh my gosh, I'm having deja vu, Kevin. Remember what happened in New Jersey and Virginia in November?
Anomalies.
Oh my gosh. Disappearing and reappearing voters.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
How could that happen?
Population shift just magically.
Oh yeah, within months, weeks. That 11,326 voters were not on the voter rolls on November 7th, but were on the voter rolls on December 4th. And it turns out that they voted on the November 3rd, 2020 election. They appeared and disappeared. When the Senate auditor was asked for a logical explanation, here's what the auditor said. I cannot think of a logical explanation.
Pretty profound statement. A lot of thought went into that.
And this is in Arizona. December 24th, reposted by Trump on Truth Social. Breaking, judge finally allows access to Fulton County, Georgia, physical ballots and related documents from the 2020 election. Right about that same time, like the same day or maybe a day later, this shocking news broke. On the Gateway Pundit, Fulton County admission. Folks, Fulton County's election board has switched. They realized they were being led by communists. So let's just say that they're a lot more honest, patriotic people now. Fulton County admission that 315,000 votes were unlawfully cast exonerates President Trump once and for all. 2 states, Kevin.
2 states, 3 terms.
We now have Arizona with its disappearing and reappearing voting. And then we have just enough. It's always just enough to get him over the line. That election was only decided by 11,000 or so votes. That figure represents 28 times over what would have been needed to swing the vote for Trump. Judicial Watch, over the last couple of years, check this out, over 5 million dirty voter names were cleaned from voter rolls. If you guys don't know about Judicial Watch, they're wonderful. If you want to donate to somebody, donate to them. It's a bunch of Patriot lawyers that are down in the trenches, and they are suing these states to force them clean up their voter rolls.
It's time.
This is a many-pronged, like I said, things are shifting. Wayne Allen Root, who is a radio show host, and he hosts 2 shows on America's Voice News Channel, had this to say to the Gateway Pundit. I love this. And this is going to just dovetail in to the next part. Trump brings back Maduro to USA. Why? I'm betting that this is about the stolen 2020 election. Maduro knows where the bodies are buried. Obama, Biden, and Clinton crime families aren't sleeping well tonight. Now, this was the day or the day after Maduro was taken into custody. Now, here's the final question that you all are probably wanting to know. Why does the DOJ Bondi's indictments only cover drug and weapon conspiracy charges? I'll tell you why. Because they knew that these things are undisputable and will stick. They need him to be not just indicted, but to be prosecuted and put in jail.
Yes.
The rest will come out during the trial with the witnesses. Now, one of the witnesses, one of their strongest, on December 4th, wrote a letter to the President of the United States and to the American people. You probably didn't hear about this letter, folks. You know why? Because everybody is scared to death to put it up. That's why. And it did come out. Several sources brought it out. I think Laura Logan brought it out, but I'm not sure. I know that there were a couple of people, citizen podcasters, that brought it out. The Real News Network Substack. That's where I found it. I'd heard about it. Benny Johnson talked about it. But this is where I found it. This is from the Real News Network Substacks from December 4th, 2025. General Hugo Carvajal Barrios. In case you haven't heard of him, the former director of military intelligence for Venezuela and one of the most powerful figures inside the governments of Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro. He's been around a few years, folks. Wrote an open letter to President Trump on December 2nd, 2025, just not long ago. And it was released for publication by Carvajal's attorney, Robert Feitel, a former senior Justice Department prosecutor. Now, this former Venezuelan spy chief is currently in federal prison, Kevin. He basically has turned against his country. In June 2025, he pled guilty to all charges against him, and he has agreed to collaborate with Bondi's U.S. Department of Justice. This letter should be front page news on every network, yet no one is reporting it. It's been vetted and confirmed as real. And again, why are they not talking about it? I'll tell you why. Because they're scared to death. Scared to death. And I'm going to read just a little bit of it. Let's see. And it's long. It says, "Dear Mr. President Trump and the people of the United States, my name is Hugo Carvajal Barrios." He talks about he was a longtime member of the Venezuelan regime. He directed people too, folks. There are spies in the U.S. now, and there are spies and people that are manipulating in the election bureaus too. He talks about it in this letter. He said, "Today I sit in an American prison because I voluntarily," I hate it when my phone does this, "because I voluntarily pled guilty to the crimes charged against me. I write to atone by telling the full truth." He said, "I publicly broke with the Maduro regime in 2017. Now, he goes on to talk about the narco-terrorism. He talked about deliberate policies coordinated by the Venezuelan regime against the United States. Tren de Aragua, basically he talked about whenever Biden opened up the borders, this gave them the opportunity to come in and infiltrate. He said gang leaders were instructed to send thousands of members out of the country and into America. When they open wide the borders, they seize the opportunity to send these operatives into the United States. They now have obedient armed personnel on American soil to finance their operations. They were explicitly instructed to continue kidnapping, extorting, and killing. Counterintelligence, espionage. He talks about the espionage going on, spies. Russian intelligence, they have been coordinating with them. For 20 years, the Venezuelan regime sent spies into your country, and they're still here, like I said. And then he gets down to the nitty-gritty toward the end of his letter. Smartmatic and your elections. Smartmatic was born of as an electoral tool of the Venezuelan regime, but soon derived into a tool to help keep the regime to stay in power forever. I know this because I placed the head of IT of the National Electoral Council in his position, and he reported directly to me. The Smartmatic system can be altered. This is a fact. This technology was later exported abroad, including to the United States. Regime operatives maintain relationships with election officials and voting machine companies inside your country to this day, folks. I do not claim that every election is stolen, but I state with certainty that elections can be rigged with the software, and this is chilling, and it has been used to do so. Mm-hmm. And he finished up the letter by saying, I absolutely support President Donald Trump's policies toward Venezuela because it is in self-defense and he is acting based on the truth. I remain ready to provide additional details about these matters to the United States government. And then he signs it. Folks, there are witnesses ready. And again, don't be deterred by the fact that this is not, that what is being charged against Maduro is not this. Let me tell you, Pam Bondi was smart. She indicted him with what she knew he would stick.
Yep.
Yeah. Kevin, this is a war that we didn't even know that we were in until the 2020 election.
It's become very evident. It's a spiritual war. What a shame that things have come to this, but at the same time, how exciting to be in this time because this exposure is taking place, and we're going to see a lot of wonderful things come out of this. It doesn't mean there's not going to be consequences and a price to pay. Look at how many people are still in jail that they're there for no reason. You know, there's casualties.
Yeah,
but we can't let them be a casualty and not move forward. And
we can't. The things that we've discovered are mind-blowing. They're staggering. Yeah. And it makes us want to just sit back and say, I don't want to be part of this. We can change things, folks, and we have to. Look at your kids. Look at your grandkids. They're kids that are not even born yet.
Yep.
People bled and died for us so that we could have the right to vote and to have our votes count and to not be led by dictators.
Yep.
It's our turn. People of our generation, get up and do something. It's our turn. Maybe it means getting involved with local politics, with your state. Start watching things. Start sending emails and letters tell people, get rid of those stinking machines.
Yep.
Maybe it's helping out at elections. Maybe it's, a variety of things. If you want to run for local boards to try to help clean out your local, that's the best. That's one thing General Flynn taught us. And just so you know, General Michael Flynn is involved in that group. And, man, he's put it all on the line, too.
Yep. I like to say Mike Lindell was right. And, boy, I'll tell you,
yes,
there's...
he was.
Unfortunately, you know what? You always hope that there's exaggeration in things, but these things have not been exaggerated. We're in a mess.
Yes, we are. And I want to close tonight with one more thing. I don't know. I was going to talk about it tonight. I didn't want to end up. I was so excited. Trump has actually put out an executive order that these corporations from out of the country that are buying up our houses and really sticking it to the young people so that they can't buy these one-family houses. Basically, that has been shot down, and now he stopped that. These foreign entities and these big corporations, thank God, not only the interest rates going down, but it's going to free up some of those places so that makes me so happy for the young people. For the young families. Thank God for that. He's working on all parts, all points, folks. And is Trump perfect? No. No, he's not. But you know what? When I think of him, this is what I think of.
Yep.
Someone who was willing. He didn't have to do it. He doesn't even take the money. We got to do our part.
They're really going to regret giving him 4 years to work on all this.
That's right.
This third term is getting exciting.
And we've got to vote in the midterms. We're going to start banging on that drum too.
Yep.
And Bert's going to, I'm hoping that Bert will be with us next week or possibly the next. We're going to talk to Bert Whaley. Well, folks, thanks for joining us today. And keep your chin up. This is all good news. This is the process that's ultimately going to bring justice. We're not the first generation that's gone through this. And I don't think we'll be the last. We hope that you'll join us again next week. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe too, folks, to get it out there. Let's keep this truth flowing and give people hope. This is, even though it's terrifying, it's hopeful. And folks, when we come back next week, we're going to be sure to bring you more news, more conversation, hopefully more encouragement. And we're always going to try to keep you informed, inspired, and always gloriously independent. God bless.